About to overrun us, guys.
How are you?
Fine. Eva was worried about Arthur. She was about ready to go get security guard and the town police and the county cops out looking for him. So, Arthur, did you come in, what, fourth at National?
Yes.
That's very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How many went to National? Top 8?
Yeah.
Well, at least you're in the upper half. Very good.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to?
Huh?
Where'd you go play?
Which day is that?
Yeah, what city did you go play? Tennis.
City. City. Okay. I played in Georgia, in Rome. No, Rome in North Georgia.
Down in Georgia. So I guess they didn't get hit by.
Atlanta a little bit, but we were more in the north.
Yeah, okay, in the north and higher up. So, because I know that hurricane hit some of Georgia.
Yeah.
So I had a little grandson going with some friends. He's 12 years old. He was down in Florida and they got out of there, cut their vacation short, and he got back to Tennessee. So, how about Millie? Is she going to make it tonight?
I think she's. Maybe.
That's probably her.
Yeah.
I was beginning to think maybe she had a tennis match in her backyard. Hurry up, Millie.
Okay, how about you?
Ooh, that's not Millie.
100%.
Shut up. Thinking that was that's Dr. Albert. Hey, Dr. Albert, what are you still doing here?
I'm not going home.
You're not going home?
I'm going now.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Hey.
Mhm.
Oh. He's a nice guy.
Which one?
You have nice kids. Williams.
They all are, yeah. But now William here, he's on the
Yes.
front. Yeah, William's the hellraiser.
You say you raise hell. You see, he's a conservative guy. But he's independent, like me.
He is. When's your first meeting on these applications?
On what?
On the dean's applications?
We met today.
How many applicants you end up with? 25?
23.
Pretty good pool.
23. Very good, strong pool.
Oh, yeah. He's gone to Baltimore.
He's gone already.
He's gone to Baltimore. Entrepreneur.
He's a good guy too. That guy there.
The author,
Yes.
he won fourth in the country in tennis.
Number 4.
Number 4 in the country.
He didn't get to number 1.
No.
Take some of his grade off.
Yeah.
I'm bad, huh? Huh? No, he won't do that. And I won't do that either. Number 4 is good. But next year you have to come to number 2, number 1. I'm going to call Pope Francis to pray for you to win number 1.
All right.
Let me tell you something before I go.
Okay.
Huh? I didn't. He's here. He's mad at me. Yeah, he just told me he's mad. Huh? It's coming back. Did I tell you that it's- Because he was like, you said there's these messages. And I was like trying to. And I went, going like, do you want it? Take it. And he's like, okay. I had some anger issues.
I didn't even remember my name.
Huh? You're welcome.
I feel like it's a good thing.
I mean, it's your minor. You know, when we finish the matches. We studied our grammar. And they are $5.
Make one for another source.
I will help.
Okay, you took He's on a search committee for our new dean. Dr. Bourne just took it temporary. And, 'cause they got 23 applicants. 2 of them are from Saudi Arabia. He said they were real strong. One guy from Saudi Arabia has 2 PhDs. But I said, hey, we don't have good relations right now with Saudi Arabia. Does anybody know what they did or supposed to have done? William, don't you watch the news? Millie?
I mean, there's a lot of bad blood, but it's an individual, it's not a full country. But it's a festival.
Well, there was Saudi Arabia that came to this country on a green card. And I think Georgia's already maybe have his green card. And it was a journalist. He wrote for the Washington Post. So he went to Turkey to the Saudi Arabia consulate to get papers. And his bride, he was going to get married, was waiting outside.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he never came out. Supposedly they put the saw in and cut him up in little pieces while he was alive. And our country don't agree with stuff like that, even though he was not a natural born US citizen, he had not changed his citizenship. He was still working in this country and so on. So it's going to cause some problems for President Trump and our Congress and Senate to see what they're going to do about it. So, but no, just because of that, and they're doing investigations. And a lot of those people, they apply for a job. They want to live in Bluefield, West Virginia, and they come here and do an interview. Well, they don't like the salary that we can afford to pay. So some of them are just on there to cause trouble, I guess. But Mr. Amos, I think, is in the top 6. And Miss Belcher down here, I think, is in the top 6. 5. Huh?
For a deed.
Yeah. For a dean.
What about you?
No, not interested here.
No?
No, not at all. I was offered a dean 30 years ago. And I was asked to apply for vice president of finance. I was never interested. Not with the time and aggravation, and plus I enjoyed teaching. Okay, so accounting, we've had test 2 behind us. And you did okay, Arthur. I think while we were looking over the class, Eva changed all your answers so you would get a good grade on the test. So we gotta thank Eva for that. Yeah, keep it up. So everybody in here is doing okay at the moment, even the 2 that are absent and 1 online student. She wants to see her grade, she can call me, email me, what have you, so forth. Okay, now we got a schedule made for next semester. And now this class, I've not had any dropouts that I know of. Started out with 9 sitting in here, and I still have 9, and got 1 online that's still online, and 10, and I haven't lost any. However, my day class, I had 20, and I've lost about 10, 50%. But some of them were basketball players. And guys, I have to make this statement, hope it don't get me in trouble. Basketball players are not as serious as tennis players. You tennis players keep up with your sport and your classes. And basketball players let their classes slip sometimes. I've had good baseball players in class, and they kept up with both sports and class. And some of them were from Canada and so forth. But anyway, I'm glad you are playing sports, but in the order of things, classes has to come before sports. And hopefully your professors all work with you. If you have to be absent, watch the video and make up any work, what have you. But class should come before sports. Now, Millie was telling me, I want to take just a couple of minutes on this. We got to get busy. We got a lot to do. Millie was telling me in her country, if you had $1,000 a month, you were wealthy. Is that correct, Millie?
Not very, you're like middle class, but like higher.
High middle class for $1,000 a month. Okay. Do you have McDonald's in your country?
Yeah.
You do?
Many.
Many? I know you have them in Spain. I know you have them in Paris, don't you? Okay. But anyhow, I want you to know that, Morgan. McDonald's is everywhere.
My husband just went to Chicago for training, and That's where corporate is for. And they actually have a place called Hamburger University. They purchased Oprah Winfrey's old building. And they actually in that McDonald's have all the food from around the country. So you got to try different things that they have in different countries.
But actually McDonald's is way better in Europe than in America for some reason.
Now-
Different variety of items.
Yeah, and for example, in Serbia, the menu is twice as big as this one in America.
And what is your main sandwich? What is your main sandwich in Serbia? Here it would be probably, what do you think, Morgan?
Big Mac.
The Big Mac, hamburger?
Big Mac in Europe, and I mean, they can confirm is like totally different than Big Mac in America. First, it's bigger. Second, the meat is bigger, and it's more like, it's totally different taste. I don't know how to explain it.
But it's the Europe.
Yeah, and McDonald's in Europe is expensive. Like,
It's more
so
expensive.
when I was a kid, like for me, when they take me to McDonald's, I was like, wow, I'm going to McDonald's. And then I moved to America, and then I found out McDonald's is like the lowest. So it's totally different.
McDonald's is simply fast food right down there with Wendy's and Hardee's and Dairy Queen and,
But in Europe.
In Europe is like a restaurant, like where you go to eat. Huh? Like a fast food restaurant, but it's expensive. Like you need 20 euros to eat. That's a lot of money for Europe. I don't know. For me, when I was a child, that was like when I have to do something good to go to McDonald's, and here it's more like a punishment when we lose a match, we go to McDonald's. So it's different because they use different food, I think.
okay, you've had a lesson, Morgan, okay? The what?
We prefer kebab,
What's that?
Greek,
Greek food?
and Turkish.
Okay.
I don't know, I prefer McDonald's.
Now, Greek food, is that a lot of Mediterranean food?
It's like a gyro.
Yeah, okay. Well, Greek food hasn't come to this country very heavy, of course. Taco Bell is around everywhere. Mexican restaurants, Chinese restaurants, Japanese restaurants. We've got some other Asian country restaurants, Taiwan and so forth. But there's not that many Greek restaurants.
And even the ones I tried are not good in America.
Okay, now what is Olive Garden? What's it supposed to be? Italian? Italian. So I guess we've got Italian food, so forth. So anyway, probably a lot of your food, especially the Greek food, would probably be a lot more healthy than some of the junk that we eat in this country.
For example, in Serbia, you're not allowed to, there's no GMO food.
Know what?
GMO, like genetically modified food, is not allowed in Serbia. So you cannot make anything that's modified, everything is organic.
It can't be processed, in other words, so.
Everything we have is organic, from farms, and it's just normal for me to have vegetables and fruits in my backyard, and I didn't see that here. And we have a lot of farmers markets, and even though I live in a city, and that's normal, and then I moved here, and organic food is super expensive, and in Serbia, only organic food exists.
Right, okay.
It's cheap.
There's farmer markets here, and a lot of people out in the country have that backyard garden where they can go out in the garden and get their veggies. I was gone most of summer, but one of the first years I didn't have a garden, but I had some tomato plants and squash plants and pepper plants and cucumber plants that I just planted since I was going to be gone. I planted them in tubs and planters, flower planters, and they did well. So I had more cucumbers that way than I did if I had them out in the garden. So, but anyway, it's interesting. Same with living conditions and other social and religion, and probably all of you are probably Catholic.
No, I'm
Orthodox Christian. All right. But I know most Hispanics that I've had from Guam and Mexico and Spain are Catholic.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in France, Catholic Church, I think, has a big hold in France. And so is that your main religion, Orthodox?
Yeah, 95% of the country.
One more statement. We gotta get busy. Dr. Burko cornered one of my students the other day, come down the hall. And he said, Mr. Lester, I like this student, but he's a Trump supporter. I said, Dr. Burko, you're to be friends with him no matter who he supports. That is a freedom we have to support whoever we want. And don't get mad at somebody about their politics. Everybody should have an opinion. And don't get mad at somebody about their religion. You know?
But he's mad at me, and I don't even know why.
Oh, no.
Didn't you hear?
Probably because you're female.
Maybe.
No, it's on tell. He'll tell me if I ask him. But anyhow, he kids some, so, but he gets upset with students too, just like everybody does. But all I say about your religion is it makes you a better person. I'm for it. If your religion makes you a bad person, I would support it. But now, like Evan here, he goes over to Jolo, West Virginia, and they have Snake Hamlet Church. Now, have you ever been to one, Evan?
No. It's a.
New Orleans?
Yeah, but I've heard that.
Well, what?
Okay, that's one religion I don't believe in. In Jolo, West Virginia, it's not far from here. They have a church where they handle snakes. You know, if you have faith, you're supposed to come up here and get this big rattlesnake and wrap it around your neck. If you have faith, it won't bite
I don't have faith.
you. What?
I'm pro- no.
And if it does bite you, you won't get sick at all. And a lot of people have died by getting snake bit.
Stuff like like Satan. Like, sounds like, how can you worship a snake?
Sounds like a cult. No,
Yeah,
they don't worship the snake. They just test their faith.
with the snake.
They still worship God. You know, I've got so much faith, God won't let this snake bite me. But I don't want to test God myself. But anyway, Orthodox Christian, what religion is that related to? I read a little bit about it a long time.
So, Christianity was one religion, right? And they got separated to Catholics and Orthodox. So Christianity, Catholics and Orthodox, that's the same religion. Just Catholics have Pope and we have Patriarch. So
And who?
Patriarch. So that's the only difference. Everything else is the same. It was the same religion till like I forgot the year. I'll Google it. But then they separated because I don't know why Pope wanted to be in charge, but there was two people in charge, so they separated, and that's how Orthodox. But
That
it
was
was the
such a
same
big
religion.
family. I have a niece that she joined the Mormon church because she was dating a Mormon guy and got married. And even to be married in a Mormon church, she had to be Mormon. And I've got sisters in Michigan, her husband was Catholic, they changed over to Catholic. So I've got relatives of all religions, so I don't condemn any of it, except Snake Hamlet.
In my
Alright.
church, they consider them, like, it's the same religion, Christianity.
Yeah, okay. All right, and a lot of religious, I get religious, has fanatics. I had 4 students one year from Saudi Arabia. Of course, they were Muslim, and I had a couple of young men from African countries, and they were Muslim, and they were nice as they could be. One young man came to my office one day from Saudi Arabia. He said, Mr. Lester, I've got the same goals you do. I want to go to a good place after I leave here. He said, we have the same goals, no matter what you think about our religion or me about yours. I said, I respect your religion. Okay. Chapter 6 is a hard chapter, folks. Has anybody started to engage yet? How far are you, Morgan?
57%.
70%.
70?
Halfway, about 50%.
About 50? Eva? Engage?
Yeah, except for the vote.
No, six.
She did. I did.
Millie, have you started? Carlos?
Of course.
How far are you?
40, 50, 40, 50.
I'm not gonna ask those. I don't want him to lie to me. But anyway.
He's still suffering.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, chapter 6, folks, you gotta know a lot of stuff in chapter 6. Then we gotta move on to 7. The next test is 6 and 7. Now, in chapter 6, you're going to have a problem, whereas you have to make the interest for the seller and interest for the buyer. Okay? I'm not gonna give you periodic, but we're gonna glance at periodic. May leave it out completely tonight because we're behind. Now, William, did I give you any homework assignments at all on chapter 6?
I believe you gave us a few problems we could do.
All right, can you name those problems?
16, 19, and 25.
That was, excuse me, exercises.
Yes.
All right, if you would, let's go to the exercises in chapter 6. And remember, you're going to have discounts and you're going to have returns. Well, you're going to have returns. You're going to have discounts buyer and discount seller. All right. Turn to page 325 and look at problem 15.
16.
16, I'm sorry. All right, sales tax. Now here, a sale of merchandise on account for $36,000. Should the sales tax be recorded at the time of the sale or payment?
The time is there.
Sale, yes. Okay, dear, we're in room 208 in the cold building at 4:30. I'm kidding. Page 325, Millie, problem 16. Okay. All right. Question B, what is the amount of the to be recorded in sales? What's the amount for sales?
36,000.
36,000. Okay, now, my mouse went out on me today. Nobody likes to have a dead mouse. This has a little old AA battery in it, and I used it all last spring and all summer and all fall. And a lot of times I forget and leave it on. I guess it's got automatic shut off. But as much as I've used it, it just now went dead. So, okay, you know, we take 36,000 and we multiply it by 8%, or we can multiply it by 180 if we want to. And what is 8% of that, William?
2,880.
I asked William because he was already plugging his calculator. All right, 2,880. 6,848. Yeah, okay. Now, this is sales. This is taxes. How much is accounts receivable? How much is accounts receivable?
38,000.
All right, Millie says 38,880 is accounts receivable. Oh, I mean, Morgan. Now, Morgan, can you make that entry? Debit what?
Accounts receivable.
38,880 and credit?
Merchandise inventory. I forget what it was.
Oh, we're selling something, dear. Credit sales.
Oh, sales tax payable.
Credit sales tax payable right there, and then credit sales. Okay. You got to know those entries. All right. And this, when we pay it, Evelyn, what would I debit? I send this in to Charleston, to the West Virginia Tax Department. What do I debit when I send it in?
Tax payable,
Sales tax payable. And what do I credit?
cash.
That's what Charleston tax office does not take peanuts. So we credit cash. Okay. All right. So that's a little bit on sales tax. Our next one was 19, adjusted entry for merchandise inventory shrinkage. All right. You found that indicate that 2,780,000 should be on hand, but when you took account, you found 2,734,800. All right, Millie, can you subtract that and give me the difference? You got a calculator? Does Eva have a calculator? Use your computer, calculator, cell phone, or anything for this. Anybody got the difference? 25,000? 45? And what? Even?
45,200.
Okay. Carlos, how do we lose this much inventory? How did we lose it? We had over 2 million. How did we lose 45,000 in inventory? The what?
By spending.
No, not by spending it. It's inventory. When you walk into Walmart, you see inventory, you see groceries, you see automotive stuff, and you see hunting stuff, and you see clothes. That's inventory. What? No. We've been selling all year at Walmart. And on their computer, we're supposed to have 2 million and something in inventory. But we don't have as much as our computer shows. We have lost 45,200. We didn't spend it, we didn't eat it, we didn't buy it. Now, Millie, what do you think it went? To what? Anybody? What do you think it went, Morgan?
That shrinkage.
All right. I guess steel. So, now that's all year long. It could have been a dozen stores or 100 stores. I don't know, but it could have been stolen. Now the employees could have stolen some of it. Shoplifters could have stolen some of it. Now some things inventory shrinks. If you got gasoline, inventory shrinks. Certain chemicals shrink. If you've got bananas, they can rot. That's where your inventory could be. But most likely, now there's one other possibility. You've got bad employees. On a perpetual inventory system, when you buy something, you put it in the computer. When you sell something, you take it out. So you may have had a bad clerk that didn't record these sales. All right, now what's the journal entry for that? We got to debit something for that. What do we debit?
The cost of merchandise sold.
We got to take it out of cost, and you're not supposed to abbreviate. Cost of merchandise sold. And we take it out of merchandise inventory. Now, when we post it, the physical count matches the book count. Physical has to match book. All right. Moving on to number 25. Now, who has 25 done? If you got 25 done, as I asked you to do, from last week to this week, it's a 10-minute problem. Remember, you two, to add 5-point bonus on your next test for having that problem done. And you 3 folks at home, if you got it, you'd have to email it to me before class is over tonight. I don't want you to take time to do it. Okay, it's 5-point bonus. Okay, so please keep up with your homework, because that's where your bonuses will come from. All right, I'll show you this one on a transparency. Millie, living conditions in Serbia. I've never been in a motel you live at, but how does the motel living conditions compare to living places in Serbia?
So this is the motel, and this is Serbia, which is ceiling. And this is the motel that we live in. It's like that. If you were referred to Mountain View.
Well, I'm not understanding the comparison. Here's the motel.
And Serbia is like the sky. Like, that's the comparison from where I live in Serbia. I live like in a city downtown in an apartment.
Which is a real nice place. Okay. So living conditions where you live.
And here there's no conditions. It's a jail. But I'm not even kidding. It's like a wall, no windows, and one bed and a sink and a toilet.
And a shower.
With some holes.
Eva, do you find it the same as Millie does, or is it luxury for you? That's if we had some students from some of these third world countries, they'd probably think that was a nice place out there.
No, I don't think anyone can do that.
No?
I'm not exaggerating.
Well, I've not heard anything good about it.
Because it's like, there's no windows. Like, you don't have a window, you live in a place without a window. I don't think we're asking for much. You don't have lighting, you don't have, internet. You don't have any, like.
You don't have internet out there?
No,
You don't have Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is super.
it doesn't exist.
It works yesterday, it doesn't work today.
No, for me,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't exist.
Wi-Fi, if you go over so many minutes, you could pay extra for.
Oh, they don't let us.
But I have the Ethernet cable.
But wait a minute, do they furnish you Wi-Fi?
Well, they say they do, but there's no one.
There is some.
I'm sorry you all have to stay in such a cruddy place.
We're trying to fight it. There's like student government underrepresented for the housing. So I'm trying to fight it very, very hard.
I would do that. 25, we're supposed to do a multiple step income statement. I don't know if this is 25 or not, is it? Excuse me. The numbers are not good. 2,554,000. If you go down that list on number 25, most of these things don't go on the income statement, they're assets. Building, cash, and so on. Excuse me. Okay. We start off with sales minus cost of merchandise sold gives us gross profit. We subtract out 2 expenses, selling and administrative. And if we have any other interest, expense, or income, we add income, subtract expense. So here is what you have. Well, can't write on this, but simply it is sales minus cost of merchandise sold is gross profit minus expenses is income from operation plus any other revenue minus any other income. Now we'll look at that in comprehensive in a few minutes. All right, let's look at a problem. All right, we got to practice some of these problems. And we've got to practice number 3A. Now go to page 332. Go to page 332. I want you to jot down some of those entries just on plain paper. Go ahead and write down. You already got some of them on?
That was one of the ones you gave.
Okay, I gave you that one too, and you got it on? Okay. How about you, William?
I didn't get it.
I got it. There we go. Okay, we'll have to make this faster then than what I thought. Some people already have it. All right. All right, William, I want you to give me November the 3rd, and Morgan, November the 4th, and Evan, November the 5th. All right, Millie, I want you to do November the 6th, one entry. Eva, November the 8th. Carlos, November the 13th. And Arthur, November 14th. I'm giving you all one entry apiece. See if you can find your entry in a couple of minutes. You got to practice these, folks, or you'll never get this chapter. That's problem, page 332, Arthur. Carlos. And it's problem 3A. And I think you had, what, the 13th or the 14th? One entry.
Yes, but
Stay on if you all can't get it. We'll do it together. Okay, William and A part. Now, please follow along, folks, because I'm going to ask you to do one of these for homework to hand in next week. So next week, I want you to hand in 4A and 5A. So everybody needs to have those and hand them in. And Chris, you and Miranda need to email me those. Okay. Carlos, have you not found where we are yet? Now, you all have that ebook?
Yeah.
Did you go to problems? Did you find that problem okay, Eva, on your ebook?
No.
Go to your prefix.
It's this?
Let's see, it looks like. Oh. But does it say 3A?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Okay,
Is it sales related?
how's that? So 3A, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Those ebooks are good, they're less expensive, but they're a pain too, to find things. My tax class, I give an open book test. One person has ebooks, I loan him my book, so he can find more answers. Y'all have Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Yeah.
They actually started chicken in.
It's different.
Different,
But they have different sizes,
different recipe.
different chickens.
Oh, chicken, such
Some are fake,
yeah.
they feed them.
Yeah. Here, if you give them hormones, they make it grow too fast.
Yeah, that's why my grandma always called me and told me never eat chicken in America. Because you're gonna get fat. I'm always like, why? It has hormones. That's like the biggest fear of Eastern Europeans.
They, blame all these fast-growing products at home on young females growing so fast.
I don't know, I just know that when I was in Serbia, I couldn't gain weight from anything. And then I moved to America, 15 pounds of this first 2 weeks. So there, it has to be something, and everybody else, not just me. Like all the freshmen that I know that are international, who gain so much weight. And it's because the food is not the same. Then yes. It's only her second one. Give her a year.
We'll have Eva walking in the door.
Yesterday, we played a match after, we went to the restaurant after the match. She ate everything she could. She's eating like a monster. We're gonna eat our.
Okay, William, your first one is we purchase merchandise on account. What do you debit?
I debited accounts receivable and credited sales.
Wait a minute. You had November 3rd, right?
Yes.
Now, William, we purchased merchandise on account. We bought merchandise. When we buy merchandise, what we debit? Merchandise inventory. The key is right there. We bought merchandise, debit merchandise. And we bought it on account. And we've always had that. Well, we recorded that net. We took out the 2% discount. Sold merchandise for cash. How about that one, Morgan?
I debited cash for 37,680 and I credited sales for the same amount. And then the cost, for the cost of the merchandise, I debited cost of merchandise sold for 22,600 and I credited merchandise.
All right. Now, William, she could have had accounts receivable and she sold it on account. Credit sale. Accounts payable goes along with the purchase. Accounts receivable goes along with the sale. Just reverses. All right. But with the sale, you got to record the cost of goods sold. That's why, in that one problem, at the end of the accounting period, when we post this, it did not match what we went out and physically took a physical count of. And that's why we had an inventory shrinkage. All right, how about the next one, Evan? We purchased merchandise on account from Papoose Creek Company.
I debited merchandise inventory for 47,360 and then credited accounts payable for 47,360.
All right, now look at this one, folks. It's important you look at the one Evan just did. You got the right amount. All right, but you had to take your 47.5 minus a 2% discount. Now, if it's FOB shipping point, we owe for the freight bill. We owe for shipping. But our supplier paid it for us. If they paid it for us, they're going to bill us. We just lump it in to accounts receivable. We lump it into merchandise inventory and credit accounts payable. We add the freight of 810 if it's shipping point. Had it been destination, we would not add it. So you gotta keep that in mind. And Millie, did you have the next one?
Yeah, so, debit accounts payable on 13,230. Oh, he just did that one, didn't he?
That sounds okay.
Okay, and then, credit merchandise inventory on 13,200.
Okay. We returned 13.5, but we had to return it at net, so we took out 2%. And Millie is correct, we debit accounts payable and we credit merchandise inventory. That's what was returned to us. Eva, let's see if you can do it as well as Millie. We sold merchandise on account with terms net 15. The cost of merchandise sold was 9,400. What would you debit? Okay. There's another entry there. You got a debit cost of goods sold. Right, and credit. Okay. Also, she'd make a good wife because she talks so low you can't hear her. Okay. All right. Anyhow. My second wife, she was loud. Loud. Okay. Anyway. What did you have, Arthur, on yours or Carla's? We paid Moonlight Company on account for the merchandise we bought on the 13th. What do we debit? That sounds better. Credit what? Debit accounts payable when you paid Moonlight. We owed Moonlight. But now, how much did we buy from Moonlight? Way up there somewhere, but we had subtract out the return to Moonlight. And that's how we got this amount of 49. I didn't ask you the amount. 62,475 minus 13,230. All right, Arthur, how about the 14th? Paid Papoose Creek. No, I'm sold merchandise on Visa, 236,000 in the cost. All right, Arthur, how about that one? Debit? Accounts receivable. We credit sales. Unless you sold it for cash. Did we sell it for cash on the 14th? Oh, okay. No, we sold it on Visa. Okay, Visa and MasterCard are the same as cash. That's why it's not accounts receivable. It's a debit to cash. Now, there's one more entry there, Arthur. We debit what? There's another entry. Takes two entries. George said he'd tutor you in accounting if you'd tutor him in tennis. Okay, Arthur, just like 3 before this one, we debit cost of merchandise sold and credit merchandise inventory. Now, all the way up here, all right, this is the one Morgan had. Morgan had this one. It was cash, and we made 2 entries. Eva had this one. It was on account. We debit accounts receivable. And you have this one, Arthur. And a Visa card is the same thing as cash. So we make that entry 3 times. Okay. All right. All of you look at the next 5 entries. Take a couple of minutes and jot down the next 5 entries. A couple of you already have these entries. Okay, for sake of time, folks, let's look at these. All right. Paid Papoose Creek on account for purchase. Anybody, what do we debit? Right, and credit? Okay. Okay, the next one. We receive cash on account from the sale of November. We have to debit cash and credit accounts receivable. All right. Now, these entries, sales, remember, takes the place of revenue. You may have had commission or fees earned. Sales is the same thing. It's revenue. It has credit. Okay. Sold merchandise on account, 110 net 30. Now, since we've had that in 3 times, I'm going to show it to you for a 4th time. We record this 50,000 at net, or 56.9 at net. We take out 1%. Now, 1% is to get you familiar with that a discount don't always have to be 2%. It can be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've had students on tests because they had 2% on all their homework problems. I could give them 4%. That's still multiplied by 2%. All right. And on the 28th, the 28th is pretty easy. We paid Visa. Now, that's just an expense. I have discussed that before. A credit card company makes money off of the retailer. They have to pay a fee. The smaller the retailer, the higher fee they pay. Real small retailers will pay 5%. Somebody like Walmart probably only pays 1/10 of 1%. But now, Visa also makes off of people like you that have credit cards. Morgan, didn't you say you had a credit card? And I believe you said you did not pay it off every month. So you pay interest, don't you? That's another way Visa makes money. And if you're late on making a payment, they charge a late fee. That's another way they make money. All right. And the last one, folks. All right. We gave this company a cash refund of $6,000 for return merchandise that it cost $3,300. I don't like the way this book is doing this entry, but I want you to look at it. They put it in customer refunds payable, and they credit cash. All right, that's okay. We'll do it the way they're doing. They have to put it back in inventory, and then we credit estimated return inventory. Now, we probably set up a return inventory account. They don't explain that real well, but please try to remember these two entries for test purposes. All right, now we're going to wrap this chapter up next week. We're going to start 7 tonight, though. But now I want you to have problem 4 and 5 in hand. Now, if you get stuck on either one of them, they're on Moodle. Okay? Don't copy them. I'm going to talk a little bit about the appendix. And instead of showing you the PowerPoint on the appendix, I'll just use Notepad. All right. In periodic, we debit purchases instead of merchandise inventory. All right. And when we have to pay a freight bill, we will debit freight in or some kind of freight expense. And if we have a return of merchandise, we credit purchases, returns, and allowance. Okay, so that's going to bring me up to a page in your appendix. We're not going to spend long on the appendix. I believe on the appendix, I only had a couple of, on Cengage, a couple little problems. They don't have any good exercises. But I don't see what I want to, but I'll show you some problems in a minute. Now, we just got through a problem that if you had a ledger account called cost of goods merchandise sold, every time you made a sale, you would post to that, wouldn't you? Maybe 2,000, 10,000, what have you. So our cost of merchandise sold would be 12,000 to this point. Now that was perpetual. Under periodic method, we don't know what merchandise sold is. So we have to take beginning inventory plus purchases That gives us merchandise available minus ending inventory gives us cost of merchandise sold. All right. Now, what I want you to do in a minute, but now to get purchases, to get net purchases here, we do a little extra. We have to subtract purchases discounts. We have to subtract returns and allowances. And we have to add freight. That's how you get to purchases. Now, to look at that in your appendix, I don't even know if they have a good example. Go to page 305, please. No, that's not it. That's single step. That's not the appendix. They don't have a good example of it even. Yeah, okay, I found it, page 312. Now, they have added on to this, we have to add, I guess, some kind of estimated returned inventory. But now, if you look at that page, it's exactly what I've got here. But here is the main, and I've temporarily misplaced a pen. All right, you might subtract estimated returns to get your final cost. Now, what I want you to try to do, is look at the page I got you on, look at page 312, and go to page 337. I want to see if you can just follow steps that you look at. Now, I want you to do what you see on page 312. I want you to get the information from page 337, problem 5B. Wait a minute, they don't have Indian inventory. I may have to go to a different problem. Or is that periodic? You cannot do it from there because they don't have Indian inventory. Cannot do it. I thought you could. Anyway, we'll have something with that 312 on it. You can see the book did not give you a lot on periodic. All right, I'm going to go back to this problem though. You see this problem? All right. If this were periodic, what would I debit? Somebody tell me what I'd debit if this were periodic. I would debit purchases. I would not take out the discount. All right, here I would still debit cash and credit sales, but I would not make this entry. Periodic, I'd leave that entry off. All right, here I would debit purchases and credit accounts payable. And here I would debit accounts payable when I return something, and I would credit purchases, returns, and allowance. And here I'd make one entry only. I'm surprised they didn't give you a comparison. I would not make this entry periodic. Okay, now on this one, on the accounts payable, I would have to take out the purchase return, but I would be recording all these things at gross. Here, I would record purchases at gross, not net. When I receive money, same entry, debit, cash, credit, accounts receivable. Here, once again, record sales at net. Do not make this entry at all. Same entry here. Right here, I would debit sales, returns, and allowance and credit cash. And this entry would not exist. So that's periodic versus perpetual. But now I'm not going to give you anything on the next test on periodic. I think there's one little problem on Cengage on periodic. All right, we're going to look at those two problems next week. But tonight we're going to look at a new chapter. We'll wrap up chapter 6 next week. I want you to turn to page 347. And I will have to bring up a PowerPoint for this. Okay, it says safeguarding your assets. Now, McDonald's, Morgan is a manager of McDonald's. And you all just heard her feelings about her big old greasy, fattening Big Mac.
I don't
All right.
either. Try not to lose.
You don't eat it either, Morgan?
I try to prevent myself.
You work at McDonald's and you don't eat Big Macs?
I try not to do that.
Do you get like a discount?
Free meals when I work, and I just try to.
Next shakers for class.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you don't want to gain weight, Morgan, you have to eat their salads.
I mean, the salads are the same amount of calories,
Yeah, that's true.
like a Big Mac, so
Yeah,
it's the
it's
same.
the same.
I did some research.
All their salaries have the same amount of calories.
Yeah. Like,
Even more sometimes.
so I feel like.
Still not as much as a Big Mac, though, is it?
If you get crispy chicken, yes. If you get grilled,
But if you put a dressing, that's like 1,000 calories.
full fat ranch.
Yeah, I never get their crispy chicken. I just want it grilled.
I don't know, do you, in America, do you have calories, like, maybe on the menu, you have calories?
A lot of people that are country do, they're not worried about it.
Well, yeah, a lot of people don't worry about calories. Now, Subway is good about putting their calories on all their sandwiches. Millie, how about Subway? You like Subway?
I mean,
The cookies are good.
no, not really. You like it? I like Papa John's. That's like the better word.
Papa John's? That's just pizza.
No, it's good. Jimmy John's. Same, it's similar.
I don't even know what they sell. Jimmy John's?
Yeah. It's like so. It's French bread.
Oh, okay.
10 times better than the other.
They have one out in Princeton?
Probably.
Oh, I discovered something new, in Princeton, they have pita pits.
Have what?
Pita pits. It's so good. It's like um, it's like the Greek thing. That's similar to the Greek restaurant. You need to try that. That's the best. I tried it.
Good.
Because you can make your own. And just, it's like a, what's it called, wrap. And then you can choose the ingredients to put in. And it's healthish. It's not too healthy, but it's healthier than McDonald's.
Okay. Is there any particular type of Moroccan food that you really, really like that you don't have in Serbia?
That I like here, Chipotle. Chipotle. Mexican.
Mexican restaurant.
Okay. All right. All right. The first page in your book says safeguard your inventory. Now, believe it or not, McDonald's has an inventory on uncooked supplies, products. Now, is there any shoplifting at McDonald's?
Not by, well, it can be by customers since we have the kiosk now. We usually have someone to watch them and take orders on them, but we do set the cups out there so the customers can try to grab them.
I'm going to tell you a story about McDonald's. When my kids were small, we went down to Bristol, Tennessee. We went to eat at McDonald's. When my kids were small, we had the kiddie meals. And we'd order and we'd set all the food on our table. And my wife, C's wife, was real particular about the kids wouldn't wash their hands. So we all went to the restroom and washed our hands. When we come back to the table, there was a 400-pound woman sitting at our table. She was eating all the food. We'd ordered for 4 people. And anyway, my wife asked her what she was doing. My wife said, that is our food. You know, the McDonald's bags and boxes. She looked at the McDonald's bag and she asked my wife, are you Mrs. McDonald? And my wife says, no. So that lady said, then the food ain't yours. All right? So my wife goes and tells the manager. And he says, well, she comes in here and does that about once every month to somebody. And she's poor. We don't try to prosecute her. We just let it go and we'll replace all your food. So we were happy about that. Okay. So anyway, the lady ate all that food and left. But she left the J.C. Penney's bag under her table. She'd been shopping at J.C. Penney's. The what?
Keep the bag.
Yeah. She had a bag full of stuff from J.C. Penney. So my wife went over and got it and put it under our table. So that lady came in, started looking around, and she saw it under our table. And she came over and asked my wife, said, that is my bag under your table. My wife looked at her and said, are you Mrs. Penny? She said, no. My wife said, then it ain't yours. Anyway, let's take a break. So my wife took the bag home.
Return for credit.
Huh?
Did you return for credit?
Well, is that your question? Did you return your credit? Anybody else have another question?
I don't know.
What's in the bag?
I don't
Don't you
know.
want to know what's in her bag? Okay, real quick. A bunch of baloney, like I just fed you.
Oh.
You got that. Okay, let's take 15 minutes. Gotta make that up as you go
I
along.
was excited to go back and tell them the story.
Still can.
Yeah, I'll tell them that they were very much fun.
Tu fais quoi, oui? Je fais bien. C'était n'importe quoi. Je te dis, c'est trop tard. Oui, pareil. Oh là là. Je vais pas montrer la merde de Loris. T'es sur le champ? Hein? T'es sur le champ? Mais j'étais l'écran, je suis très ultime, j'étais là. J'ai pas vu ça. C'est bien. T'as vu ça? Hop. Et hop, j'ai trouvé les affiches, quoi. Ça, c'est le premier.
It's like 50 times.
Okay, folks, we're back. In inventory, we have purchase orders, we have receiving reports. And you can have a subsidiary inventory ledger because you've got so many different types of items. Physical inventory is a count. Do y'all ever count your supplies, Morgan? There was a mining supply company in Buchanan County. I used to teach in that county. And anyway, the warehouse and the delivery truck and the accountant all got in cahoots. When a mine gave an order, the warehouse would load up double. The delivery truck would dump off the correct order to one mine, and then they had a secret building somewhere they dropped off the duplicate. And the accountant tried to cover up the missing inventory. All three of these folks got fired. They were caught. Now, they were taking that inventory to Ohio and selling it for about half price to some of the mining companies in Ohio. But they were caught. And you know, when we get to a chapter on cash, there's so many ways people steal cash, but they get caught. And some of them go up here to Beckley Federal Prison, so on. But we need to take a physical inventory regardless of what method of inventory you choose. All right, now here are three identical units of inventory. All right. Now, if we take the 3 units and divide into the total cost, we will get $12 a unit. That's called the average method for periodic. Now, we're going to look at 6 methods tonight, and hopefully you become efficient in those methods. All right. And it makes a difference in your cost of goods sold. Now, a specific identification method of inventory, a drugstore, medicine should be priced at the specific cost because they vary. Automobile dealership or a jewelry store. Now, other companies, they use different methods. They'll use FIFO or they'll use LIFO. Average is the average, but under perpetual, we have to really work at doing the average. All right, now I want you to look at these 3 inventories. We're going to practice these 3, then we're going to practice them again, okay? Now these were purchased, they're identical. All right, I want you to look at this inventory here. All right, we had 1,000 units to start with. Now we're going to try to do FIFO. Now we're going to sell 700 units. How many does that leave me? How many? I'll have 300 left at 20. Now we're going to purchase 500 more. So now I have 300 at 20 and 500 at 22.40. Now we're gonna sell 360. Under FIFO, the first units we bought are the units we have to sell. So William, what 360 am I going to sell under FIFO? I'm gonna sell these 300 at 20 and 60 at 2240. I'm gonna sell 240 more. I've only got 440 left at 22. So that's what I'm selling. And then we buy 600 more. Now, if I change these letters here to LIFO, all right. Now, Morgan, what 700 do I sell here? No matter what method, you have to sell them at 20. It's all you got. All right, we purchased 500. But now, Evan, what 360 do you think I sell? Huh? That's right. The last ones I bought. That's what last in and first out means. So we're going to practice that and little exercises. All right, exercise 7-3, page 379. Exercise 7-3, page 379. I want you to practice what we just did. You can find out how many is left and what price. Found it yet? Chapter 7 now. You're in chapter 7. Go chapter 6. We're looking for another film on the computer. All right. Yeah. Okay, well, you're on chapter 7. Okay. I want you to go down to the exercise. Now you find those and everything. You have to look at it before you understand it. I found it. Exercise. Table of contents or exercise that should be there. Yes, exercise. Or profit. Down to number 3. All right. Yeah. I want everybody to be on the same page. And you can make inventory charts. I will Xerox you some of these for next week. I will bring you some of these sheets. In fact, while you're doing that one, I'll run down and see if I can copy some. If you get that one done, try to do number 4, 3 and 4. FIFO and LIFO. I'll see if I got some of those sheets.
Yeah, like 5. Let's see this.
We'll take 4 of these and pass them back. You get these, take 4. You're gonna need some practice. So I took some, I'm gonna stop it down, get some questions. Okay, let's see what you did with that one. Now I'm going to put it on just PowerPoint, but I just notepad. Okay, now look at this, folks. Now please take it serious. I'm going to have you to put one on those sheets in a minute. Okay. Now here we have inventory, 120 units at 26. Now, I'm just going to scribble it down here. That was a purchase, but we got these sheets to put them on property, okay? Well, that was beginning inventory. In fact, okay, now we sell how many?
90 units.
And we sell 90 at 26. Okay, now that just leaves us 30 at 26. Okay, now that was a sale, and this is your inventory at that point in time. At that day and time on a perpetual system, you can see how much inventory you have. Okay, what did we do next? We purchased 140 at what?
28.
At what?
28.
Now, this is what we have at this point in time. We have 30 and we have 140, but they have different costs. Now, if these are identical products at Lowe's, like some kind of snow shovel, they're all looking identical. But we got to put a price on them when we count them. Okay? Or we sell them. Okay, then we sold 110, right? Now, here is your deal, folks. We're going to sell 110. Now, what 110 did we sell?
30 to 26.
We'll sell 30 at what?
26.
And we'll sell 80 at what?
28.
Now, that was the sale. Now, that left you inventory of how much?
60 at 28.
Well, now you sold 30. You had 170, you sold 110. That leaves you 60 times 28, right? Okay, then what did we do? Moving on down, what did we do? We sold 40 units. Well, we sell 40 units, we have to sell them at what? That leaves how many units? How many units does that leave?
20.
You have 20. All right. Now, you're going to have another purchase here, okay? At whatever you paid for it. Now, prices are going up. That's inflation, isn't it? And this is FIFO. Companies can choose first in, first out. Companies can choose what they want to buy, what they want to sell. Now, I want you to do this same problem on one of these sheets I gave you. But I want you to do it in LIFO. That was the next exercise. If you're ready to scribble down, that's okay. You use that same information and do LIFO on one of these proper sheets. I'll bring up a solution to show you how it should look. All right, now here is how exercise 3 should have looked. I just put it on notepad and keep it straight that way. But this will help you definitely keep it straight. Put down your beginning inventory. Now, when you purchase something, you sold first. When you purchase, make that a 2-liner to show your inventory. You got different prices. All right, and let's see, that's off center. I'll try to show you the rest of it. That didn't do it. I don't know what it did. This is the one you just did, isn't it? That's the one you just did? 3, let me make sure. Yeah, you're to do 4, LIFO. Okay, finish up 4. The first lines here are going to be the same thing. Guys, have you got this sheet about filled out on problem 4? I need you to help me by helping yourself. Okay. Today, get started. Okay, is that 4? Oh, 3 information. Okay. Okay, now, Carlos, you didn't have a purchase. Right here, no. On April the 1st, what did you have up there? An inventory, you had 126, so mark through that. So look where you got a purchase or a sale. Next is going to be harder, so please try to understand this one. Same numbers are on the screen. Oh, I got 4 up there, don't I? I'm supposed to have 3 up there. The first two lines will be identical, April the 1st and April the 10th. And your third line will be identical. It's identical down to here. It only changes when you have a sale. Right, Morgan?
The purchase and cost of merchandise will, the inventory breakdown.
Do that. All right, folks, let me show you this. All of you. I haven't looked at Williams, but some of you are slow to get started. I guess this is the problem. Now, first off, if we're looking at FIFO, which I went over on Notepad, you got to put down your beginning inventory here. Evan didn't do that, okay? And Carla started to put it over here in purchases. No, we've got it on hand. Now, we sold 90. That goes under cost of goods sold. All right, on the 10th. Now, what does that leave us? That leaves us 30 at $26. Now, we bought 140. You got to show me that inventory at every date, Morgan. Every date.
So why isn't that 107? For your inventory, what you take that 40 and the 30, make it 170 in your inventory?
No, you can't do that because they're at different prices.
Oh, okay.
A 30 at 28. Now, this is FIFO. All right, now we sold 110 more. We had to sell those 30. Then we sold 80 out of the other price. You see what we're getting at? Now, the problem I want y'all to do, so y'all were too busy doing something else, folks. But here is the problem. Can you at least go with me and fill in these numbers? Okay. Have you got this filled in yet, Billy? This 120. Billy, have you got the first line? Okay, John, have you got the 10th? Have you got the second line? We sold 90. Have you got the second line down yet?
What did you, what, that's the 3,920.
Do what now? 3020? No, first off, do you have this second line down? Do you have this sale down?
3,920.
All right, this is, you bought this. Have you got that down? Huh? All right, you got 140, you got 30, and you got 140. Have you got this down, John, over to here? I mean, Carlos. Arthur, have you got that? Okay. Eva, have you got line on the 20th here, April the 20th? You sold 110 units, and you had to sell them at $28 a piece. That left you 30 at 26 and 30 at, it's last in, first out, folks. And we're going to sell 40 more. We sold those 30 we had left, and we sold 10 out of the other 30. That only leaves 20. We bought 30 more. 160 more. So we got 20 at 26 and 160 at 30. Here would be your answer. I may ask you for cost of goods sold, or I may ask you for cost of your inventory. Okay. Now I want these two figures. These are the two figures I'm looking for. William, do you have 6520? Morgan, have you got 5320 yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Eva, you got it finished?
I'm working on it, so it's not all the way down yet.
Oh, give me those totals.
No, I did commission.
Oh, you did. Give Bill his back to her, and you can have with him. I didn't ask him. Here's two lines. That's two inventory. All right, all of you. Well, you might not get yours back. But now all of you folks finish that problem. We practiced a FIFO. Now on the real farm, we practice a LIFO. You need to get this. We've got about 10 kinds of inventory, and this is just one or two. It's perpetual, FIFO, LIFO, and average. It's three. You're holding up place while we wait for you to finish. Evan, you got it finished? Millie? Eva? Got it finished? Got it finished, Eva? Okay. All right. Okay. The next one is the hardest. It's called average. Now, I'm going to show you this same problem on average. I'm assuming, don't jot this one down, we don't have time. No, that's using LIFO. We'll show you number 8. Right now, you're going to have some homework to do. You've already got two problems from chapter 6, so I won't give you too much from this chapter. Read, of course, and be working on Cengage. I want Cengage for chapter 6 finished by next week. The whole week, folks. You can start it from the beginning and finish it by next week. And then those two problems to bring in and read this chapter. So I probably won't give you any extra homework on this chapter unless you just want to do so. Okay, the one I want to show you here is go to exercise 7-8. Oh boy, it looks to me like my solutions are really messed up. Let's see. Maybe 9. Just go to exercise 9. 8 is really messed up, I guess. All right, now let's look at exercise 9. Okay, on hand we had 4,000 units. Folks, I want to show you this one time. I'm going to expect you to be able to do it. Okay. Now, how many units did we sell? Morgan, how many units did we sell? At 20. How many units did that leave me? At what? Okay. Now we're going to buy 6,000 units. I want you to tell me how you get 2320. All of you. Author, how do I get 2320 right here? $23.20, folks, right here. Figure it out. Got it figured out, William? Morgan?
Is it an average?
It's an average. Evan, you got it figured out? Millie? Carlos, you got it figured out? All right, all of you listen to me. Probably a couple of you do have it figured out. I want you to look at this. Hope you have a calculator. You have, so 25, that leaves you 15 at 20. Now, anytime you buy more, you bought 6,000, you add that on to the 15, that makes how much? All right, now you add 30,000 in inventory. Now you're going to pay 144 more. What's 30 plus 144? 174. All right. So you take this 174 and divide by your total units. Total cost, total units gives you 2320. You got to do that after every purchase, not after every sale. Now, if I turn around and sell some, I sell them at 2320. Now here's what I have left. I sold 4,500. I have 3,000 left at 69. But I buy 1,000, which makes 4. 3 plus 1 makes 4. I wish they'd use a double line there, but they didn't. All right, 69.6 plus 25 makes 94.6. We recalculate again, 23.65. We got to recalculate after every purchase. And that's why we call it average. Okay? Average. Now, what you have seen, folks, is perpetual. Now, I'm going to show you periodic. 3 more methods, and we'll call it a night. Now, I expect you to catch on to this fast, okay? The quicker you catch on, the quicker we all can go home. But if you want to sit back there in a daydream, all right. Now, this is still FIFO, LIFO, and average, but it's periodic. We've already looked at Pacific. That's easy. We've looked at perpetual. We'll have to work on that next week. All right. I'm just going to throw some things down here. Beginning inventory. I'm going to make this real simple. $1. Purchase 1. We bought 20 more at $2. Purchase 2. We bought 20 more at $3. And purchase 3, we bought 30 at $4. All right, now here's what we've got. You don't need to know what you sold or what day you sold it on or what day you purchased on. Now, how many total units do we have altogether here? All right. Now, let's say we have 15 left. Now, under FIFO, what 15 do I have left? Under FIFO, what 15 would I have left? I would have 15 times 4. I sold the first 65 units. First in, first out. All right, now what 15 do I have left under LIFO? What 15 do I have left, Morgan? What?
Is it not at 4 also?
No, that's LIFO. I mean, that was FIFO. And under FIFO, we sold the first 65. Under LIFO, we sell the last 65. William's got this. Tell her, William.
10 of them would be at $1. 5 would be at $2.
William's got it. All right, that'd be 10, and that'd be 10. Your inventory remaining would be worth $20. All right, now average. I'm going to do this 2 times. Then I'm going to give you a problem, and when you get it 100% correct, you can leave. And Millie, you better not keep me here at 12 o'clock. Okay. And, you know, if Eva's got a ride out there waiting for you, y'all got to get out quick. Okay. Now, average, folks. We just multiply our costs. $10 for the beginning. We got $40, purchase 2, 1. We got $60, purchase 3, 2. And we've got $120. Now, this is our total cost. That's 50. That's 110 and 120. I guess that's 230 if I added correct. Now, you got to divide 230, your dollars, by your total inventory of 80. So if you divide 80 into 230, what do you get? You may have to round off. How much? 0.9? $2.90. All right. If your low dollar is 1 and your high dollar is 4, $2.90 has got to be somewhere in between, and it is, isn't it? Okay. Now that was one problem. Okay. Now we're going to practice one that I don't want to look at. I want you to do all 3 methods on this problem. FIFO, LIFO, average. This is periodic. It's easy. Okay. Now, inventory, you can see that we've only got 18. So let's say we have 3 left. So I sold 15. I have 3 left. Arthur, you're not playing with us? You're thinking? Is that thinking? Is that about accounting or tennis? Or even? All right. Good answer. Okay, under FIFO, Millie, what 3 do you think I have left under FIFO? Just take a guess. I've got 3 left. Which 3 is it? Which ones, John? I mean, Carlos, which one? Arthur, what'd you say? All right, Millie, it's real easy. You know, if these guys could get it, you can. It's 3 at 18. All right, the guys have it. All right, Eva, I've got 3 left under LIFO. What 3 do you think I have left? What? What do you think, Carlos, Arthur? See, the guys have got it again. All right, they know how to do LIFO, FIFO. Now, how do I do average? All right, I do average. 2 times 10 is 20. 5 12s is 60. What's 5 14? 70. And 6 15s is what, 90? Assuming I multiplied right, that's 80, 150. That's $240. And we got 18 units to divide into that. So what is my average price? How much? How much?
13.30.
I thought she said 18. I was going to say that can't be right. It's got to be in the middle of 10 and 15. Somewhere, not exactly. 13.33. All right. Now those exercises, if you want to practice them, but you do not have to. Exercise 12 is exactly what we did 2 times. Now I'm not going to ask you to do that and turn it in, okay? It's been a long day for me, so I'm gonna let you all go. We got a lot of work to do before next week. Please do it. Millie, I hope you all don't mind me picking on all of you. I hope you all don't mind me picking on you.
Oh, that's fine. I deserve it today.
See you.
On that test last week, I didn't tell you that I running that one account twice. Did you do this on this?
You did? I'll have to look at it.
Okay. Is that my second average? Or my first?